just a word.
Yeah. Adapt to things more easily by giving them like stuff like composed by Asian Americans, right?
Yeah, I think that's one way of helping them succeed in their coursework, because you know, for a lot of these students, again, they're struggling academically, and they're being overlooked by that. And so if we tell other faculty, you know, if you just change your curriculum around so that it reflects the culture that the student comes from, if they understand it better, or if they feel like, wow, this instructor is choosing a book written by a Vietnamese American author and I'm Vietnamese, I might have more invested in the classroom, and so I might do better. I might also understand the culture better.
Spend for one, we'll become two. If we take the chances, change circumstances, imagine all we can do if we send it on and on.
In higher education. And so there was legislation that was passed several years ago that enabled funds to be given to college campuses to support underserved students. In the case of Aanapisi and Impact API, our focus is really on Southeast Asians, Pacific Islanders, and Filipinos. These are groups that historically have not had the same success rates as their higher performing Asian counterparts.
Absolutely. I mean, if you take a look at, you go to like De Anza College in the campus, right? And you go into that room, there's Dr. Lee's office. There's tons of good resources and books just there for students to be able to go and check out and use for their classes. That's one example. In the larger picture, the Aanapisi program is a brand new, very new program that hasn't been around that long, and so schools are just receiving the money and starting to spend the money on different improvement programs. So we haven't been able to track and determine the long-term success, but without a doubt I know that it's going to be successful because we've got talented people like Dr. Chang, Dr. Lee, you've got Ken over at Mission College, you've got people in Seattle and in East Bay that are working on this and making sure that the money is used wisely.
Okay, so...
It brings to light the debunking of the model minority myth, the idea that all Asian Pacific Americans are highly successful, both in school, higher education, and in the workforce, and that's simply not the case. And you know, we have to, and that's a main reason why we're ignored. And since we're ignored, we're not getting funding that's going to be helping our communities, and that's really a problem, because if the assumption is that you're doing well, no one's going to want to help you. If there's an assumption that you're all the same, in the same boat, so to speak, then no one's going to help you. And so I think it's brought to light on campus with our senior administration the issues of certain Asian Pacific American groups, and we've seen just a more sense of community from the students. The students are just becoming more confident, and they're moving on to four-year institutions with much more confidence and with the skills that they need to really compete.
That's a really good question, and it all starts with student organizing, right? So there are a host of student organizations on campus that students can get involved in on campus, and those are outlets for young people to get together, share ideas, and from their voice their concerns. And Apolli is one of them. Apostle is another one. And so if you join those groups, figure out what is a principal issue that you all care about, then you can come together and voice those concerns. And as a group, as an organization, you're much stronger that way. Then you build coalitions with your other organizations, like your African American Students Association or Latino Students Association, where you have similar goals and similar interests, and from there you can advocate in your much stronger voice.
How did I like Apolli and how is it helpful? I liked Apolli because they really went into depth about the AAPI issues and how they still affect us today. and having all the different speakers from different organizations come to talk to the class really helped, because they've shown and provided different ways how easy it is to get involved, so I could do my part.
I really did like Apollo because I got to learn a lot about my culture and everything like that, and the people are the number one thing for me, because everybody in Apollo everybody has their own special little story. Everybody's amazing in their own little way, and it really is a family oriented kind of thing for me. And yeah, but number one thing I did learn out of it is there are other people in the world that have struggles and have problems in their lives, and we're just not alone in all that.
Because initially I was kind of hesitant to take an ethnic studies course, but now that I'm in it and learning about Asian American history and then applying it to our own life and learning about policies, it's actually all really rewarding and stuff that you can actually take home and apply to an everyday basis. And also all the mentors and students and your small groups are all really helpful and supportive of everything you do.